I'm going to talk about drug repurposing, its potential not just in the arena of cancer treatment but also in the arena of cancer prevention. As a scientist, the last few I would say 10 to 13 years I've been working on drug repurposing, and we've become very familiar with the challenges with both doing it in the laboratory setting but also translating that into the clinical setting. The social aspects of dealing with people's perceptions of repurposing, and also the legislative barriers that we have regarding trying to get repurposed drugs into routine clinical use. I think what is impressing me is the breadth of the type of work that is happening. There's obviously a focus on aspirin and metformin because I think the amount of data there is almost unequivocal. The evidence is so strong that it almost makes sense that we shouldn't not consider aspirin and metformin seriously. I think the other aspect which I'm finding fascinating is the social aspects of doing the kinds of trials using repurposed agents for prevention. And so that's the social aspects of the clinicians' perceptions of prevention, the patient's perceptions of prevention, and also the regulatory perceptions of prevention and repurposing. We ourselves are aware of some of those challenges. We've hit some of them ourselves. But I think what's come to light in the presentations is there is a real significant amount of work we need to do on changing people's perceptions of the concept of cancer prevention, as well as using repurposed agents, and also nutraceuticals and lifestyle changes. I'm part of what is called the ECMC UK Therapeutic Cancer Prevention Network. It's a national network of researchers and clinicians, and our goal really is to bring cancer prevention into the mainstay arena, and that means tackling a lot of the issues that have been raised at this conference. So that means writing papers, forming collaborations to push ahead some of the studies that are taking place. Also, for example, we had the off-patent drugs bill, which didn't make it through Parliament, but then has now been incorporated into the Saatchi bill. So we've been doing a lot of advocacy work and trying to promote and support that bill going through, because one of the challenges we face is the legislation around getting drugs, which are repurposed drugs, licensed for either chemoprevention or for new use, is actually very difficult. And we really need to get the government on board in supporting the activities that we're doing. I think what is fairly clear is that if we look at the statistics, epidemiologically, that almost 40% of cancers can be prevented. I think that's the take-home message we really need to get out into the community. I think what we struggle with is that there are sometimes conflicting reports about data with respect to whether or not it does reduce your risk or increases your risk, etc. I think we have to have some clarity, and I think as a collective we need to be sending out a message both to our patients, to our GP practitioners, to the legislative bodies about a clear message for a given agent, for a given treatment. And I think the only way we can do that is to form these collaboratives and collectives that work together and get that message across.